voice in this video. I am currently in the midst of trying to get better from another sickness. This has been a crazy year of sicknesses, at least here in the Netherlands. This video, I really want to talk about learning a foreign language through reading books. Or not even just learning a foreign language, but just enjoying books in general in foreign languages. I would really love it if you guys would discuss with me in the comments if you have your own experience, if you agree or disagree or have other ideas with what I'm gonna say, please, because this is something that I've been doing and it's been a hobby of mine for years, but I am not going to sit here and lie and say that I know the best way or which are the best 5 ways or whatever. I don't. I try what I try, and if it works, I keep going with it, and if it doesn't work, I try to change it up. And yeah, so I'll tell you guys what I have done, and you guys let me know what you do. I'll start from the beginning of my journey of foreign language learning. I began with Italian. This was maybe like, I don't know, almost 12, 13 years ago, I started to learn Italian. And one of the things I wanted to do from the beginning was to read books in Italian. I tried to just like pick up a book and start reading it, and it was so difficult, and I couldn't do it. And but I didn't want to stop to try, because for me reading is so important and it's something that I love to do. And so what I tried, and I find it the best way so far, is if I read a book in a foreign language that I already read in English, it's easier. The reason for that, and here is an example of what I'm trying to say. This is the same book, but it's in Italian and it's in English. So this, I find really, like, so far it's been like my best way to learn a foreign language, because one of the hardest things when reading a book in a foreign language is that not only are you wrestling with a foreign language, but you're also just trying to follow the storyline and follow a story. Reading a book is something that requires attention and energy, even if it's in your native language. And so I find that picking a book in a foreign language that you've already read before makes it a lot easier, because you can just focus on the language, because you already know the storyline. This I find very great, and if I can do it, I will do it. Of course, it takes a lot of time, because you have had to have read the book once already, and then you're going to read it again. And so you have to have that kind of patience for that. But I find this way so far has been my favorite way in order to read a book, in order to learn a foreign language. It might not necessarily be the most like enjoyable, because I have to read the book twice, but a little side note on this is reading like this twice in 2 languages really helped me as a person understand the importance of the translators and how important it is to choose good translations and do your research on the translators. The ones I'm holding up right now is actually a project I have, because I kind of have mixed feelings about the translator who does the Italian. There's this Anne Goldstein, and she is the big translator of Italian works. And right now, I kind of have mixed thoughts about her as a translator. And so I kind of have this project in which I really want to read some of her books and see how she translates things, because I don't want to go too deep down into a tangent, so I'm not going to keep going with that. But I'm just saying is that it's you get to see the nuances of a language and see how difficult it is to translate things, and how it's not just one to one. It can never just be like, this is what I said and this is how you say it in another language. A language is very cultural and it changes with time. And don't even get me started on translating poetry. I have very strong feelings about poetry being translated, and how I think it's pretty much almost like impossible. I really do. Anyways, I have been digressing. Let's stop with the digression. Let me go on to other ways that I'm learning foreign languages. I have multiple ways that I'm learning Dutch. One way is I have a couple of books here that I found at a like a Christmas market used, and it has like the wild animals and mushrooms in the Netherlands. I have another one with like the wild birds, the wild trees and flowers and all of this, right? And so one thing that I've been doing, because I have a toddler, is we're going around with these books and trying to find these animals and trees and whatever. And every time we find something, we take a picture of it, or we get the book out really quick and we try and find it. And so that's been really nice, right? Because we have photos that we can look at, and it goes into explanation, and it's a fun thing to do. This has really been one of the most fun ways to learn a language, is to like take the book and like utilize it in nature and in the wild, and try and find things and then read about it in the book. Obviously, it's not easy to read all of this. A lot of this I need to get translated, but some of it I'm able to just understand by context. So this has been a really fun way to learn Dutch with my kid. Another thing that I am doing right now in Dutch, I also did this in Italian, and I think it's like a great way to learn a language, is to start with cartoons, fumetti, whatever you call them. These are great because you have images and they help you. They give you a lot of context. And the bubbles, the way as much as they are talking, they're so small compared to the photo. And so it's a really great way to learn a language, is to do like even mangas. Mangas are great too. Do you guys do this? I think this is a great way. Seriously, this is one of my go-to ways to learn any language, is to get out these illustration books. Now, what I'm doing right now, I'm not really sure about it, and maybe you guys have better ideas, but right now I'm reading a novel in Dutch that I've never read in any other language. It's the first time I'm reading it, and I'm just going in from zero. This is interesting because I'm trying it in 3 different ways. With this book, I'm trying 3 different ways to read it, and they all have their positives and their negatives. So I'll explain. But first, I want to explain what this book is. So because it's pretty cool, the Netherlands, they offer this book for free. This is with the Heel Nederland Leest. It's an organization in which around November, they pick a book and they offer it for free at the library that you can have. Like it's yours to keep. And they also have like a groups online in which you can discuss together, and library groups where you can meet, and they want you to read this book together and discuss it and get the country going in a discussion. They pick one book each year, and not only do they offer the book as it was written, they also offer it in the form that I have, which is this in makkelijke taal, which means in easy language. So it has been, I don't want to say dumbed down. They kind of cut the book up and they use simple words. It's made for people who are trying to learn the language. And so this was the book for 2025 in November. I'm reading it now, so I'm not able to read it in the group, but it's still nice to read it. So let me show you what it looks like, what I'm doing. So if you can see, yeah, I am going through, and every time there's a word or a phrase I don't know, I am underlining it, and then I'm writing down the translation. The first way that I have been doing this is I have been reading, and as soon as I find something that I don't know, I stop, I get out my phone, I translate it, and then I write it down on the page, and then I keep going. This, I find, I'm already under the assumption that this is not a good way to learn or to read, because not only am I not able to read the story and enjoy it, because I have to keep on stopping, so it's not enjoyable as a read. I've noticed that I keep on highlighting the same words over and over again. And so I don't think I'm actually even learning what I'm highlighting. And so I'm finding this way not very, I don't think it's working out for me, at least not for me. Another way that I have been doing it, which I would say is kind of like the middleman, it's like the middle way, is I've been going to the library once a week, and I meet this like Dutch lady. She's not a teacher, she's just Dutch, and she reads with me and talks to me in Dutch. She doesn't translate. She doesn't talk to me in English. Dutch. And what she has been doing is I'll read, and then if there's something that I don't understand, we'll stop, and she'll explain it to me in another way, but in Dutch still. And so I find that great, because it keeps me in the story, and it keeps me in the Dutch language, which I think is really important. When it comes to foreign languages, you need to get to that point where you're no longer translating it. You need to just be able to just think about it in only that language. And so I find it probably the best way for me to read it and to understand. But it is difficult because I have to understand her, and there are many times in which I don't understand what she's saying to me. And so it's not the best way, because I also am not able to later look back and see what I learned from her, because I have to remember. And honestly, I have a 3-year-old right now, and I don't know if it's a thing, but it's not easy for me to just remember things. I have to write it down and be able to reference it later. And so I really like that way of learning, but I don't think it's like perfect, and I might not be at that level yet. Honestly, I think my Dutch is like level A1, A2. If I'm lucky, it's A2. The other thing that I started to do recently is, maybe you can see, like, from this page here, there's way less scribbles. I started to do this thing where I read the whole page, and I don't translate anything. I don't look up anything. I just go with it. If I don't understand it, I don't understand it. It's been actually, I think, the best way so far, because I have been really pushing my brain and making myself realize that I know more than I give myself credit for, because there's a lot of things in which all I needed to do was reread it, or look at the context, look at the sentences and the words around it. Maybe go one sentence forward first, and then maybe I understood that, and then it helps me understand the sentence prior, and kind of just like have a dance with the text, and try to just go with the flow. And then after I do that, I then go back through and then get my phone out and I pick the things that need to be translated. And as you can see, at least on this page, way less things that I needed to translate over. And so I find that my favorite way so far is to do it that way. So what do you guys think? Do you guys read in foreign languages? Do you do it for pleasure, or do you do it to actually learn the language? And do you have any other tips, any other ways? What do you think? Let's have a discussion.